Alright guys, I just want to do a quick video here with you with Halligan disappearing. We're going to start switching everything over to LadTech. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and switch over to doing a repair request or vehicle write-up through a LadTech, which is pretty simple, just like Halligan was. You'll still be able to pull all the same information, report in kind of the same way, except we're just going to use a LadTech now instead of Halligan. So we're going to get away from Halligan and we're going to stay on a LadTech. So from here on, we're not going to write anything up on Halligan. Most everything that's been written up on Halligan has been transferred over to a LadTech for tracking purposes, thanks to Chief Albright, who's been moving that information over, and the rest of the battalion chiefs. I just want to give you a short video here about how to properly submit a repair request through a LadTech and how to kind of look into some of the information on the repair request, and so you can kind of check in on the status of your repair request just like you could on Halligan, except this way you're not really going to get the emails like you used to. You're just going to get the ability to track the reports of the write-ups that you've submitted. So the other thing that will be coming with this, and I'll do another video down the road, we're starting to move all of our vehicle inventories over. So if you get on a LadTech and you see the home page here, simply over in the forms section, I'm going to drop down and it's the HFD repair request work order. When I click on that, it's going to present a form just like Halligan did, with all the essential information that you need to fill out. So I'm just going to do a test form here. It says at the very top it's going to be submitted by myself. When I'm doing that, I also want to change the person requesting. It should have every username in here. So if you're filling out a repair request, just find your name. I'll find mine here. I'm going to select a date. If you click on the calendar button, it should just populate today's date. I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to tell it what type of work order. Like you all know, each of the battalion chiefs are doing different things. So select the proper work order form that you want to submit so the proper battalion chief can track it. We're going to do a vehicle maintenance report here. Over to the side here, where it says apparatus, we're going to find our involved apparatus, if it is an involved apparatus. If it is not, you'll leave the apparatus blank and just fill out which station. Okay, so we're going to do car 8, which is my vehicle, and I'm going to say it's at the CTC. This has to be checked off. If you see a red dot, that means it is a required field. Everybody should be familiar with that by now. Under equipment information, I'm going to do a write-up. If you don't see what pertains to you in that particular write-up form, there should be a general for each one. So building should have a general, vehicle has a general, and support has a general. If you're not sure, just go with general. Let the battalion chief who's handling and forwarding that information, they'll figure out the best proper way to disseminate that information. So I'm just going to call this a general write-up. If your piece of equipment, let's say we're doing a small equipment, okay? If your small equipment, you need to double check this, has a central garage ID. This will not be a firehouse ID, it will be a central garage ID. You can come through here and possibly find that. Okay, all these have been added by Chief Albright. If you find that central garage ID number, like 985 is a 2012 Troy built, okay, you need to pick that piece of information. That helps Central Garage know what they're working on. Secondly, if you have a small piece of equipment that should have a Central Garage ID and it does not, let your battalion chief know so it can get addressed by Central Garage and it can get added to our database. Okay, so I'm going to do a general vehicle write-up. I do not have a Central Garage ID for my vehicle. Okay, I do not have a serial number. In here, if you're doing a piece of equipment that has a serial number attached to it, say a radio or anything else like that, here's where you would attach that serial number. Every little number helps for logging of information for the battalion chiefs and Central Garage. So do your due diligence. If it has a serial number, put it in here. If it has a firehouse number, put it in here. Okay? Take the extra 2 seconds to find the extra numbers to help direct this information where it needs to go. Okay, Below that, you'll see problem description. In here, I'm just going to do a general problem description of what's going on with my vehicle. For me right now, it's just going to be a test. This is a test for the video. Okay, but if I was having problems with my brakes or whatever it might be, I would give a good general description of what my problem is. Okay, where it shows you work order progress, this is going to come into play once you've submitted your work order. You can come back and open these work orders up and see the progress once the battalion chief comes in and makes adjustments. They can put notes in here that you can read, and you can keep up to date on the work orders that you've submitted. Not only you, but any person that's at your station can run a report over these work orders and see what notes have been made and what progress has been made on the work order. Okay, there's simply a notes section for the battalion chief that they can make notes. Also, the company officers can get in here and make notes to the battalion chief, and they can check this as the work order progresses to see what's happened. Same kind of thing up here. This is just a little more description area given to add more notes if needed. Okay, then on the priority level. These priority levels are set by the battalion chief, more so for central garage, but they will be left blank until the battalion chief addresses it and acknowledges it. He will rank the priority of your work order. Okay? If, let's say, you write something up and it's able to be taken care of in-house, you're able to use your credit card and go buy the parts needed, you can put this information in here for the work order. Okay? You can put Station 4 crew, Chief Martin, whoever performed that work will be filled in here. If it's central garage, the battalion chief that's fixing or completing the work order will put in here central garage. He'll do the best he can to put the repairs performed description, and then if there's a cost association, that number will go right here. If you use your credit card to go out and buy some small parts or whatever to fix something, just simply take that number that you came off your receipt, put it in the cost of repair, and mark completed. That would be the only time you mark the completed box, okay, is if you physically take care of the repair and mark it as completed. Okay, any other time that an outside agency like Parks Department or whatever, the battalion chief that handles those work orders would come in here and mark it as completed unless they tell you to go ahead and address the work order and mark it as completed yourself. Okay, the battalion chiefs aren't the only one that can take care of the repair database. Everybody is responsible for the repair database. So if you knowingly know something that's written up has been taken care of, and you know the specifics of what happened and how it was repaired, come in here and fill this out and mark them as completed, okay? So I've written my name in here, the date, what kind of write-up I have, the vehicle that's being written up, where it's housed, the detail of my request, okay? It's a general vehicle repair. If I have a manufacturer, I'll put it in there. If I have a central garage ID number, I'll put it in, and so on and so forth. I'll give a good description of my problem, okay? Go into as much detail as possible. This is a required entry. I will then come down and mark it as submit. I'm going to go ahead and submit this report. And so it's submitted it, and it's now sent an email to the corresponding battalion chiefs to let them know that there's been a new work order through a lad tech. Okay? So you're asking yourself, I filled it out, now how do I keep track of it? Over on the side here, you'll see submitted forms. It shows today's date with my name. That's my form that I've submitted. If I want to track my reports, over here in the reports section, right next to forms, down at the bottom, there is a repair request work order report. I go ahead and hit that, and in a kind of an Excel spreadsheet form, it goes out and it shows me all the current write-ups that exist in a lad tech, and you'll see all the ones that are in here right now have been transferred over from Halligan, okay, and it'll show you the newest one all the way down to the oldest one. Okay, Chief Albright was awesome and went through Halligan and transferred all that information to keep you guys from having to do that. So, but it'll show me the pertinent information of my write-up. Vehicle general, manufacturer, It'll show me the notes, the problem description, just like kind of like our old Access database was. But as this work order progresses, Chief Albright can come in here, and if he's looking at the work orders, or any of the company officers, if you know something happens with your work order, I can come in here, find my work order, click on the date over on the left hand side. It opens up my original request, filling in all the information, and at the top here I can hit modify submission. Okay, it opens it up, and I can come into the officer notes and say, I took care of this on my own. Okay. Repairs were performed by Chief Martin. Fixed wiper blades. Cost of the repair was $35, and it has been completed. I hit resubmit. Okay, once I filled in my pertinent information, the repair was completed today. It was approved by me. So if you're a company officer and you approved the repair after talking to your battalion chief, you can go ahead and mark it as approved and fixed by myself. Okay, this was a repair that was in-house. So I'll just come down here and hit submit. Okay, I go back to the reports and I can run it. And now when I run this report, it shows that at the very top, it was repaired in-house on the 14th. The repair was completed on the 14th by me, and it was fixed by myself. It was performed by me. I fixed the wiper blades. The cost of repair was $35. Okay. Now, to make things easier for yourself, so you're not skimming through all these work orders, if you're just looking for the work orders that pertain to your station, you can come in here, and at the very top here, there's an edit button. Okay. I can add and remove filters to make it easier to look for different reports. So if I add a form filter, let's say I just want to see write-ups for Station 4. Right here under Form Filters, I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to say I'm just looking for the station. That's what I'm looking for. I just want to filter out everything for that pertinent station. So when I click on Station, I can say it contains, and when I click to see options, it should show me all the pertinent stations. Okay, so let's say I'm just looking for reports to do with Station 4. Okay, I click on Station 4, and all I do is come down here and hit apply. It reruns all the work orders, and it shows me only the ones that have to do with Station 4. It's eliminated all the other reports that exist right now. So I'm not having to dig through all that unnecessary information if I'm just looking for a specific work order. Once you're done with that, once you set that filter and you log out and log back in, it will go back to running that filter. So you need to, if you need to look, if you're working overtime somewhere else and you want to look at repair requests for another station, just come back in here, hit edit, and on the right hand side you can see, oh, I have a filter set for stations. I don't want to see that. Just simply click the X button and delete the filter and hit apply again. It'll go back out, rerun it, and it'll show you all of the forms that exist. Okay. Now be mindful that down here at the bottom, once the repair database gets bigger and bigger, this only shows you 50 at a time. So if you're looking for something and you're not finding it for whatever reason, be mindful that there may be multiple pages and there's only so many repair requests that show up on one page. So you can change the parameters. If I want to do 100, I update it and it'll show me up to 100 per page, but that has to be manually set. If you're just looking for open repair requests, I can come in, I can click on the completed, and it should remove or show me ones that have been completed. Okay, so it's going to look for that other field. If I want to get rid of it, I simply come in here and I unclick completed. Okay, it's pretty simple. It's going to take some playing with. It's going to be on all of us to kind of police the repair request database so we know what's been taken care of and what hasn't. That's why it's really big on hitting that completed button, okay? We can come in here and say, okay, I want to see the completed form, but let's say when Chief Albright or Chief Lang, whoever comes through here, they don't want to see every write-up, because you see right now mine shows as being completed, but it's still popping up on the screen. Simple fix for that is if I come in here and hit the edit, I just add a filter that shows I want to see when it isn't completed is checked. Okay, I hit apply. Now you see mine has disappeared. It hasn't been deleted, it's just not showing me the ones that have been completed. Now the reason I bring that up, it's very important. If you hit this trash can button and delete the work order, it is deleted. It no longer exists. We don't want to lose that information. Okay, that is not our goal for our work repair request database. We want to save all the information to be able to track the equipment and the apparatus and stuff over time, so we can track cost association. You know, if we're having a problem with brakes on a particular engine, we want to be able to see that progression with that piece of apparatus. So don't ever hit the trash can button. Okay, that is for an administrator only, to be able to eliminate information. If you don't want to see completed tickets, simply come in here, add a filter that completed isn't checked, and it will only show you the open work orders, okay, at that time. If you get confused, just come in here and hit edit. If it doesn't look the way you want it to, don't worry, just come in here, hit the X button, hit reapply, and start again. Come back up here, hit edit, and try building your filter again. Okay? If you build a filter, let's say I want to set a filter for my particular station and under my username. So let's say I only care right now under a station that contains station 4. Okay? That's in there, and I can save this filter as station number 4, and I hit save. So right now my view is only showing me station 4. That form or this view is only good on my username. So everybody can have their own views however they want to set them up, but I've set up this form just for station 4. So it only shows me station 4. If I don't want to see that anymore, I just go to autosave. It takes me back to my autosave filters, which is showing me mine. If you're done with it, just go to edit and just hit delete it. Okay? I take the form filter out, I hit apply. Now it shows me all the open work orders. Okay? It's pretty simple. It's going to take some getting used to. Spread the word to everybody. Make sure everybody sees this video. It's a very simple way to submit a repair request. Just make sure you're doing it in a LadTech now. We're not doing it in Halligan. If you have any questions, you can ask myself, Chief Albright, Chief Lang, or Chief Unruh. They've all become very familiar with this system. It's pretty simple to use once you play with it, learn how to kind of manipulate some of that information. You really can't break it. If you accidentally delete a repair request, which you shouldn't, but if you do, stay away from the trash can. But if you accidentally delete some information out of it, let one of the battalion chiefs know. They can probably get with the LadTech to get that information pulled back into the system. Like I said earlier, this is all about capturing information, capturing that data, capturing those numbers, so down the road we can use valuable information to try to get better equipment. And that's what the whole goal with this is. So if you have any questions, either contact myself, Battalion Chief Lang, Chief Albright, or Chief Unruh. So I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching. And if you have any questions, like I said, contact the right people. Thank you.